When Rey finds Luke at the end of The Force Awakens, he's wearing Jedi robes. Then at the start of The Last Jedi, he storms off, immediately changes out of them, and starts going on and on about how the Jedi need to end. So why was he wearing those robes in the first place? If he truly believes the Jedi need to be over and done with, why was he just hanging out on a cliff dressed like one? The Last Jedi Visual Dictionary gives us a little extra information, so I'll do my best to build off of what we're told and guess at what he was up to. The book says Luke now only wears this robe to undertake one final Jedi rite. Skywalker's studies revealed the cyclical nature of the struggle between light and dark and the massive toll the galaxy pays with each cycle. Luke's donning of ceremonial robes is not an indication of a return to faith, rather Luke sees it as his last rite to end the Order. The spot on Ahch-To where Rey first meets Luke also has a small bit of information written about it. Called the Saddle, it's simply said to provide a breathtaking place for contemplation. So we don't have a ton to go off of, but the only other time we see him wearing those robes is when he goes to burn down the tree near the end of the film. So my best guess is that he was standing on that cliff trying to convince himself it was time. Then Rey interrupts his solitude, and I think he uses that as an excuse to delay things. I think it's interesting that when he changes back into his normal clothes, he very carefully folds his ceremonial robes. He calls the Jedi of the Clone Wars hypocrites and failures, but he obviously still respects the Order as a whole. He can't bring himself to burn the tree when the time actually comes. As much as Luke talks about how it's time for the Jedi to end, I get the impression he was having trouble convincing himself that it was truly the right thing to do. However, I think the tree was probably only a part of what he was thinking about at the end of The Force Awakens. The Visual Dictionary says he was about to undertake a rite, which usually means some sort of customary practice, as in something every Jedi would have to go through at one point or another. Burning down an ancient library and ending the Jedi Order would certainly not be something that every Jedi went through. The only other real possibility that comes to mind is that Luke was preparing to die and become one with the Force. He does tell Rey that he came to Ahch-To to die, and considering he was the Last Jedi, if he were to burn down their sacred texts and then disappear, that would definitely bring about the end of the Order. We don't know exactly how long he was alone on that island. The book Bloodline takes place 6 years before, and I expect the incident with Ben happened around that time. So let's just guess he was hiding for 5-ish years. And in all that time, he never went through with it. Even though he didn't want to admit it, I think deep down Luke actually had some hope for the Jedi Order to continue, and in one of his final lines, he proudly says that he will not be the Last Jedi. Whether or not his death was really involved in that final rite mentioned in the book, there was a reason he didn't go through with ending the Order, even though he had years of chances. I think Rey restored some hope in him, and gave him the courage to give his final moments purpose, something he wouldn't have had if he simply died hidden and alone. But that's just my speculation based on a couple lines from a reference book, so what do you guys think he was up to? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.